What's going on, y'all? Bitcoin. It's been a while, actually, since I made a video. It's been a really crazy month. I've been doing some reorganizing with my personal affairs and stuff, and just kind of analyzing things about the show and the channel, and I'm going to just do some different things and change it up. It's just been taking a lot of time to do, hour, 2 hours of the show, and so I've just been kind of focusing on other things that are yielding better results, which is hard to do for me, but it is what it is. So, but we're going to get it in, and we're going to just start doing shorter videos. I don't think I'm going to do the live ones that much. It's just, I can't, it's hard for me to keep consistency with my schedule on those, and so I think I'll have the time to just do shorter ones. And so that's going to be kind of the idea, is what I'm planning for, is to do something like that. So it has been a while. I think the last one was right before Halloween, when we were looking for Ethereum to target about 40, almost 5K if it did break above the 44 area, which we did end up getting. So that was nice. Now we're almost back at the same price level where we did last video. I think it was right here. On the 26th or 7th, right here, which is kind of funny, right back in the same arena. But anyway, let's get it in with some video and price action. So, has anything very different happened since the 26th, about right here on Bitcoin? A little bit, yeah. So, let's catch up on it. We did get this little high here with bearish divergence on it that got, didn't look good. And if you watch the show a lot, the one thing I've been looking for is I want the open and close to be above this wick over here, which is about 65K. I want an open and close on a weekly for trend continuation. And by trend continuation, by trend continuation, I'm talking like the next target hitting like 80K and beyond. This does not do it for me. This isn't enough. It's close. It looks good. It's fine. It almost did it. We were kind of looking here, and this week was the last video between here, these 2 weeks. And, we almost got it, but then no follow through. What are bulls supposed to do in an up market, bull market? They're supposed to make price go up. Now, is it super bearish? Definitely not. We're still riding this trend line. We're actually coming to test it right here. The one thing, because there is some catch up I have to do here for analysis, since it has been a couple of weeks. We are getting this candle that just closed yesterday is kind of ugly. The best thing that did happen, though, is it got caught by the short-term MAs and this horizontal. But it still did make a lower tail than here. So that is a show. That is a showing. That's showing that the bears got a little bit more strength than the bulls probably should have let them. And this engulfing candle in the previous month is definitely not sexy. I don't like that. I do not for the bulls. We are just right here on this horizontal. And we are kind of making a little H pattern. Let's zoom in and see if we can see that. Yeah, we do kind of have a little H pattern right here. So that's kind of interesting. Boom, bam. There you go. And usually H patterns are hard to short into. They're lovely patterns. I like them a lot because it's easy to play once price breaks the part of the H here, the bottom of the H hump, which is right here, right? And you got the long part. When it breaks the bottom of there, it's pretty much bearish as long as price is below that period. It's easy peasy. A lot of times what you will see in these, though, because they do break out to the upside a lot more, is it kind of turns into a W pattern. So it's H now, right? But then eventually it kind of will turn into a W. So this is what you want to see for a lot of good resolution to the upside. And so all we kind of want, and the time is very important on this too. It's not an H anymore if literally just like 3 more days go by and we just kind of chop fast down here. Then it doesn't look like an H. It's like a, I don't know, whatever the hell that is. A dying heart monitor, maybe. H heart, yeah, whatever. Anyway. So once price gets back above the hump of the H, right around in this zone, which is about 60K, then we can start targeting up here into this purple zone, which is the mega resistance now for the bears. On some other indicators that I have that I don't share on here, some proprietary stuff, I have gotten cycles on the high time frames that are down on Bitcoin, and those populated about here, I believe, on the 12th or 15th. So that's not very good for the bulls, and you're getting this under the mama. But I mean, you're right on the 55 on this trend line, on this horizontal. It's a very, very interesting spot to be chilling right here. So I do think there's probably a bounce in play coming up here. We'll see if this 458 closes below this. If that does happen, we might not get that bounce, but if we kind of hover right here and maybe even just come down a little bit more and then snap back, we still got 3 hours on this, and close back above about 56.7, then maybe we are building a little base out here for a continuation. This is just a little liquidation break, because on the daily it doesn't look super bad. The bulls just need to reinstate their dominance here, and you know, the good thing is we do have a little time action to look at, and we got the pressure coming on pretty much into what, next week that is, I believe. Yes, 1st, 2nd December next week. So right at the beginning of December, which is generally a pretty bullish month for crypto. So any price action back above this little purple box, it's probably kind of hard to see. I just like it really light. It might come up better on my screen versus the shared screen, but whatever. Right here in this area, if we get back above here, and the top part of it's about 65,000, then I'd definitely say it's a great chance for hitting that 70. But you know, whenever it's just not, this is a lackluster bullshit close. You know, even like these two is just not, there's no momentum. Ethereum looked a little bit better. We'll get to that in a second. But then the bulls just kind of gave up, and you can really see that on the dailies, you know, like, oh, here we go. Bitcoin, when it breaks out, it usually just says F you, bears, and just keeps running. I mean, we've seen that so many times. But here, it struggled immediately the next day, and just kind of lackluster performance by the bulls for sure. But that's okay. They still got some time, and they're in an interesting spot here. I am considering nibbling to the long side here. Let's see, kind of just chilling on the shorter term EMAs. I mean, not terrible. It's just, this is a real tough area to play right here on the mama and the 55. I can't get super bearish right here, because the higher time frame trends are, you know, clearly still up for now. And this is just kind of coming into the weekly 21s and kind of the daily mama, which you can see has provided some support and resistance areas, as it generally does like to do. So as long as, again, we're kind of holding this mid 50s, that is kind of like the area of importance right now. All right. Ethereum still has that. It also has the kind of pattern here with the H pattern, and these pink lines, or whatever it is, reddish pink lines, those are just VWAPs. I'm trying some new idea that I've kind of, with anchored VWAPs, taking them from cycle highs and lows, so just kind of don't mind that. But right now it is showing the trend sucks, and you can see from the anchored VWAP from this high, price went almost to it, to the tick, and has rolled over since. But, you know, I'm sure people are kind of looking at this as maybe like an inverted head and shoulders. Maybe it could be that. I don't like pre-drawing patterns. I can just see the crypto Twitter sphere just already saying inverted head and shoulders, moon target already up here, 83 million thousand. You know how these moon boys like to do it. But, you know, it could, if we got back above this 40, it's funny, 44 was the since the last video. It's so weird. It's almost like a lot hasn't changed since that video. If we get, like, that's what we're looking for there, is getting above the 42 and then 44 to get to 5. And then now here we are again struggling with 42 is right here. You can see lots of resistance there, and the mama going sideways. And then right above that, all right here at 44. So kind of in the same boat, as long as we're kind of below this little cluster right here. It's not great, but higher time frames, it's also not terrible. It's funny. It's just like super neutral. And As long as we kind of hold this level, I guess we technically are still making higher lows. This is just a little lackluster performance so far. What would make me really concerned on Ethereum is if we even start wicking below. Excuse me. If we even start wicking below here again, this 39.50-ish level. So if we start doing that, no bueno, no bueno. Then I do think we'll come to 3700s and touch this trend line. And that also meets up with this box that we watched for a while. That was respected very much so. You can see here, tap, tappity tap. Also tap from the other side after breaking through. Super nice, sexy textbook action. And so this is definitely the next pivot point. 39 handle and then 37 handle if we lose 39. And to the upside, it really needs to get back above 44. And, you know, is this the little H pattern kind of too? Yeah, it looks like it. It's not as nice as Bitcoin's, but I do like that you got the 200 MA right here. And it's attempting so far to hold on for dear life or hodl. Futures. Futures look a little bit better. They're above this trend line breaking out. I mean, this actually isn't that bad of a chart on futures. I will say this looks a lot better. Let me flip back. I do actually like this chart a little bit better than the spot price. I like that it's above the mama, and I like that it's just coming back to retest this breakout trend. So, you know, this is, look at that, 37 handle too is about where this is. The right underneath it, it's like 38.20, 38.50, but the 55 is right under there, and the mama's right between that. So this is interesting, man. That 37 to 39 area might be a pretty good sweet spot for long entries, and I probably will nibble on those if we get that, depending on how these 458 candles print, like the next few of them here. And if you don't have 458s, you can use like an 8 or 7 hour or something. And even then, you might not be able to trade unless you have a paid subscription for TradingView. Which you should get one right now. TradingView doesn't pay me, but they have big discounts right now for Black Friday. This is when I always re-up my service because I get the max one, and it's like 60% off. So, yeah. Pretty much have a $300-400 a year chart habit. But I like all my charts here. The app's good. They're better than most charting things, unless they just get tick charts. Get some damn tick charts. TradingView, let's do it. Come on. Anyway, back to price action. I do like this candle. I really do like this daily candle. And I actually do like this one too. It is doing a pretty deep retrace into this. That's probably the one concern on spot. Looks like we're already at like the 786. But this is kind of an interesting spot here. I do like how this is shaped up and that we're holding it. So again, confirming that mid 39 handle is kind of the good support level. Anything below, I think even if we wick below 39.50, we're going to go to 38, 37 something, and then we'll have to reassess then. And then conversely to the upside, we get any price action kind of above this cluster here. Actually, we got to go 3 hour for futures. For futures. Oh, yeah, see, this kind of sucks. So this is, man, that's terrible. This was an inverted head and shoulders here, but it has since been busted with this 3 hour candle this morning. So futures on the lower time frames are continuing to look pretty bearish because look at this. This is a lower, even high, lower high, lower high, now lower low, and lower low than this. We're getting close to breaking down on Ethereum on that lower time frames, but that is just a 3 hour, and as long as it's kind of holding again the mid 39s, that's our line in the sand. We start getting below 39.5, I'd be watching out for another $100 to $200 or so. Oh, let's see. All right, Litecoin, yeah, super rejection up here. I mean, this is some sloppy shit. I'm not a real huge fan of how a lot of these altcoins acted. They pretty much did what seems to be like a shakeout kind of maybe trap. I don't know yet. It's too early to tell. Oh, let me see. We got a little trend line here. We do not want the trend line to look like that. We want it solid. Yeah, we do kind of have some sloppy trend line there. That's not my favorite. We've got plenty of other stuff. I mean, it does have a lot of support in the 190, 180 area. To be fair, let's go weekly. Man. I mean, all right, so the weekly does have higher lows, higher highs, and the trend is changing, but the bulls really got to come in fairly soon. Because if the bears are allowed to camp a little bit lower and start working these lower time frames like they are right now, then you got to start being concerned that this was just a little fake out bull trap. And so, sub 230, that is very much in the cards right now. Let's go see some other stuff here. Yeah, pretty gross. Right to this horizontal at 130's rejection immediately on the same day it touched. Sell off. Back below the mama. Back below the trend line. I mean, the dollar, $1 is the line in the sand. We start wicking below there again. I mean, we're probably going to go to 80 cents again. 80-something cents. It's not really that... man... It's just tough. Like, you want to be bullish as hell on this. I think kind of generally on a lot of these time frames, but it's sloppy. Like, if crypto was as bullish as I think everybody believes it to be right now, then we shouldn't be getting this bullshit like this. Like, we shouldn't be just selling off 30-40% after giving up rallies entirely. That's a little bit concerning to me. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like this sub 110-ish and above $1. I mean, this is just in a no-go zone for me. It just needs more time. XLM, this is an interesting spot. Fake out, breakout again. Back below all the EMAs, but I mean, look how close these are. They are all within 6% of each other on XLM, which is pretty crazy. Right on this trend line. Is this some type of ascending triangle? Yeah, possibly. This definitely could be. A measured move on this would be about what? Right to the 618, it looks like. Funny how this usually always works. I don't know if it is. I'm guessing. Now it's a little higher, just over it. Yeah, man, no go for me either. This is tough. It's pretty much... It is, man. These are tough reads, man. I don't like this. I'm not gonna trade this stuff right now. I want Mama Bear and Ethereum to look most sexy, and they're trying right here. I do like that they're kind of stalling at this point. We'll do wrap up in a little bit, but yeah, 6%, very very squished up EMAs. Yeah, I'm gonna wait on that a little bit. Let's see the weekly. Yeah. Wait. This one was really ugly. It actually looked like it was about to get super sexy this day. Next day, immediate rejection all the way, even tailed, shadowed all the way back down the previous few days, and then just selling since then. That's not very sexy. That is not good for the bulls. That's a rejection at the 200, and it's already had time to reset on the EMA structure below the mama. I mean, this is pretty bearish. To me, this looks like it wants to go to 42 bucks. Don't like this chart at all. Dot's barely holding on. Again, these charts are like right on the cusp of breaking down. They're not broke down yet, but they are right on the damn cusp. So not very sexy. I'm going to try to fly through some of these because they're all kind of doing the same crap. Resetting bearish. ADA looks like it wants 150s. It doesn't look good. EOS has been stuck in this box. Who cares? Bitcoin Cash right in the middle of its stupid range. I mean, it's still trying to consolidate. I guess that's the best thing you could say for the bulls on this, but just not very great. BSV also getting rejected. Back below the trend line cross. Reset on another day or two below 165. Very bearish. I mean, you're below every single moving average. That is never a bullish thing when you're in that. When price relative to all the averages, it's below it, and it's methodically just like breaking down below it. It's not some one-off wick or something. That's usually not a good sign. This thing goes back below 145. I would be looking for the lower end of this range down here. Nasty rejection on these coins too. Reset. I mean, any more price below 220. I mean, this thing is probably going to make a lower low on this structure. higher, and it's making lower highs too. Even on the daily, attempting breaking out of this trend line. I mean, none of these charts really look that great. Some of them do. Zcash looks okay, but the majority of them don't really look super sexy. Zcash doing pretty nice. This is actually the exception to the rule right now. Nice pump the last couple days. Right off the 200 in the mama. Beautiful. So here's the one that is nice. Like literally right after I say that and click on this one. That's kind of funny. Reset. I mean, hell, this one is pretty... Let's look at the weekly. Yeah, hell, this one actually is a little bit better. It does look like it's at a 618 retracement here. But now, yeah, we're kind of chopping between it. Then the 786. I mean, it's fine to me. I don't have any concerns until bears can get some price action below 180 on ZEC. Dash, bleh, bleh. Underbelly test, rejection, bearish below 220. It's not sexy. Dogecoin. Nope. I don't like it below 24 pennies. Look at this. Tried to get above. Look where it closed, y'all. This is a level we've been watching forever. And this was after the last video, so I wouldn't have talked about this then. But look at this shit. I mean, right to the 30-cent level, this horizontal we've been watching. And we needed open and closes above 30 cents, preferably a weekly for longer-term trend momentum. And did not get that immediate rejection like a lot of these pumps that we saw. Pretty nasty, man. Because, I mean, FOMO went up here. I mean, you're down 40% now. It's pretty rough. Lovely bounce on... Hex. I didn't do a show on that, but that was pretty nice. I did take a little nibble on that at one point on this bounce. That was good. Now it sucks. Now it's back below the 200. Right to the trend line rejection, just like everything else. Nasty. ES kind of pumping back up. Let's go correct time frames. Yeah, okay. It's kind of trying to reverse here. Dang, did I miss my long entry on that? Yes, I did. That's okay. That's okay. Closing below this is our target. We finally made it, 47.40. After that, it's way up there. We can do like a little interim one, medium term action. Let's go here and do that. And we're already at that. So next target is probably about 4,800 flat, 4,820-ish. If this is going to keep going, pretty nice. Not so nice. Doji candle. That is a textbook doji all the way. If it closes like this, we only got about an hour and 40 minutes left. And only about 50 minutes left in the regular session. Yeah, that's pretty nasty. This 3 hour is actually really nasty, taking out the last 4 or 5 days of business with the vol flash. All right, so this is interesting. So with the vol flash, you do have to be careful when you see these. The price action that happens immediately after them, I would say... a slight majority, I haven't back tested this all the way, but I would say a slight majority of them get thrown back. So it'll be the fake out direction. So then it'll dump, everyone gets bearish, but then really it's just a trap to create some liquidity for bulls, and then they just run this shit and rip everyone's face off. Now, where would I consider that mode happening? We get a 3 hour close above the 16,666. It almost is that level, which is actually kind of funny. Right here, you can see. Right at about 16,666 devil's number. We start getting over that, then I would look for this thing to just break out to new highs. And conversely, I think back below this body at 16.5 probably comes back and tests. Let's zoom out a little bit. Probably comes back and tests. You know, right here about 16.3-ish, and then we'll have to reassess that. But kind of nasty 3 hour. Been in a downtrend since here. Bulls tried to get out right here, but then lost the momentum immediately. This is actually good example. So lower highs, lower lows, right? Breaks out, starts making higher highs, higher lows, higher high. But then look, it breaks this. So then this is negated. Bulls didn't do their job. I know I drew all over that. But bulls didn't do their job. They're supposed to be making higher highs. Kind of think of it as a channel up. And they broke down here. And when they made this high, or I'm sorry, lower low on this candle and below the 55 and all that, I mean, that kills the bull's momentum. That's over. That's no longer a thing anymore. So you have to say, oh, rejection. It's hard to flip back and forth sometimes. Confirmation bias is a biatch, and I still do that a lot. So don't think that you can ever get rid of that. You just have to curb it. Anyway, right up here again. I mean, the way this price has been acting, it's been getting rejected. So we'll just have to keep going and see. Back above 36,000 starts to change my tone a little bit, but right now bears got control on the lower time frames. Russell, pretty nasty close right there on this candle. Nice bounce though. Yeah, I totally missed that. I was gonna buy that low earlier this morning, but got distracted. So we're up 10 points off. Let's see what happens here. This is an interesting spot right in the middle of this kind of funktastic. 3 hours still pretty bearish. You can see it's just been getting worked by the 21 EMA, which is the yellow guy there on the 3 hour. Pretty nasty. And this technically did close below here. So this is an interesting little spot. We get rejected again from right around here, around 2360s. You know, we're probably going to make a lower low. And then there's major support at 2300. So it does kind of look like it wants to run down there. You just have to be careful. This is where bulls will front run shit because everybody starts getting real bearish, and then the bulls will just come in and they'll slap it and then just rip face off. So be a little cautious, especially just how price is hovering right around the 200 MA. And let's see. We are back. We are fully about to open and close though today. Man, this is actually interesting for bears. This is getting a little momentum for them. This might be the first open and close below the 21 EMA on the daily, unless we rally really hard. Another 10 points before the end of the day, roughly, which isn't that crazy because we still got an hour plus. Yeah, I mean, it hasn't closed an open and close below the 21 in a while. It closed below here, but immediately was like, no, bulls are like, suck it. And then over here it did, and then it just took, what is that, couple weeks to resolve before it did anything. Back here, open and close, made lower prices. Back here, open and close, made lower prices. Back here, open and close, made lower prices, only for a second, but ended up continuing. Back here, open and close, made lower prices. You get the picture. So it's a little bit bearish for Russell. Lots of bifurcation in the markets. Nasdaq ES, yeah, Nasdaq are like, oh, they look fine. Dow's like, and Russell's like, ooh, pretty wild. Man, dollar just ripping freaking faces off over here. Let me show you the Dixie. Look at this, man. Look at this chart. Just epic pump. We are getting to a major resistance zone here. Let's look at this on the weekly. It'll be easier seen. Look at all this business. I mean, this is like a year and a half pretty much. So there's going to be a shit ton of resistance coming up on the dollar around 97, 97.50-ish. Euro absolutely getting mollywopped on that strength too. After re-breaking this trend line to the downside, it was sayonara. Oh yeah, Dow Jones is whatever, nothing really there. VIX is still poised for spring-loaded action. This is an interesting chart here. What would change my mind on this? Something below 1650. Let's see if VVIX. VVIX is almost, man, VVIX staying above 110 for another few days. It's going to have a complete bullish reset, and if it gets back above like 119, this thing's probably going to run hard, so interesting. Oil mollywopped after getting to our target at 82.5, struggled, broke trend line, rallied to the underbelly, rejection on this engulfing candle, continuation. This is very textbook. This happens a lot on trend lines, so can I keep that in mind? Man, this is already 30 minutes, god damn it. But now oil's getting a little bit bearish here. All that hype. But look where it's coming back to test previous little local high here. Not all-time high because it went to $140 or some shit at one point. But 75. I think a daily close below 75, open and close, probably gets us to like 70, 72-ish. This is looking a little bit heavy, and I don't see any relief yet on the low time frames. Not quite. It's all lower lows, lower highs so far. So bulls need to do some work on that. Bonds, major rejection, but look where we are. We're just chilling right here on the tops again in the mama saucer pattern on the 200. Caution here. ZN just making an just mollywop today. TNX, we already know that. I'm just going to kind of fly through these. There's DAX actually putting in an interesting pattern here after a vol flash. Big move coming up in the DAX. This is what that's hinting. Again, this is direction neutral. So this is a more surprising move today. Gold, I guess they don't like, I don't know, whatever, Powell got picked again or something. I guess gold didn't like that. But just like Bitcoin and any other bull market, because trading is trading. This is all just representing human psychology. Trading is trading. And the advertising here of just popping up against this line, what are bulls supposed to do? They're supposed to go up. When you start struggling, I mean, this ain't no bullshit. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days, and you can't get one, like even 2 wicks above this horizontal. That's generally not good. If we zoom in, you can actually see, look at the 3 hour. When it breaks, it generally does come back and test lower. So you can see right here when it actually broke, open and closed right here, we did get some selling. Now, it did go right between the longer term MAs, and I'm inclined to maybe buy some right here. The only thing I don't like is this is a pretty big candle, and if it does close below 1800, I'll be a little bit concerned for the bear or for the bulls, because that would take out pretty much all of this structure. But you do have the 200 and the mama all right underneath it. And if you look at the structure too, on here, there's a lot of clustering going on here. Lots of business chopping between about 1770 and 1820. So we're kind of just in the middle of that range right now. Definitely thinking about nibbling on some longs. Let's look at silver. Oh, wow, look at silver's on all the VWAPs. Same thing, sitting right on. Man, interesting price action on metals there where they're stopped. Because let's zoom in a little bit. Crack time frames. Yeah, you can see most of that came out the gate. Selling pressure. And it looks like the last hour or so, we're just kind of floating around the bottom. Platinum. Sitting right on the mama here. Interesting spot for that to stall, because this technically would still be a higher low and a higher high on this formation. Very interesting. GDX going right to the trend line on a doji. This actually would be a pretty good setup for continuation. And I don't think I have any of my longs on anymore for metals. I took most of them off. Yeah, I'm just fanning through. No, I thought I might have GDX left, but I don't. Yeah, I took them all off. So, yeah, when it just started struggling last week, I was just like, nah. And then they announced, too, late last week, they were going to probably say who the Fed pick was going to be for the chair this week. So I was like, And it wasn't even mostly that. I didn't know that till way later. I was already taking most everything off here because the struggle was real at this level here at 1872. So, is this a rebuy zone? World markets coming back to test the breakout zone. That's an interesting spot, too. So, I think that's it for today. Wrap it up. Bitcoin, it's already been way too long than I wanted to make it. But, shocker, right? All right, Mama Bear, bitch, you best be holding this 55.5 level. You start going below that, you start threatening down here by this trend line. Oh my goodness, that would be very bad. I think it's going to get caught here from this price action. It looks like it might be charging up for a little buy zone, and I'll be looking at the crack time frames to see if that will postulate. And that's the only time I kind of use them, or that's how I use them. I don't dictate trades off of crack time frames like open and close. I use them just to pinpoint entries. So if I'm getting signs on the higher time frames and it's like, oh, we need to start looking for longs or shorts, whatever, then I'll zoom in and try to wait for these to turn around and then kind of use it to really like pinpoint safer risk entries for myself. Anyway, I digress probably there. hold 55 and definitely this trend line. We start breaching this trend line or lose 55,000, we probably are going to 48 to 51. And still, even if we do that, it's not super crazy bearish. It's just starting. It would start to look a little bit more like this was a fake out bull trap. But that's a little bit ahead of ourselves because that's probably going to still take another couple weeks or something to pan out. And right now, though, we do got the pressure to the downside. But then you've got the bulls putting the pressure right on. I mean, it's like a squeeze. I guess it's neutral. I do like the little H pattern. That's a good one. So as long as this is holding right here, let's see if we can start flipping around over into the evening and into the wee hours of the morning. We start doing that, I will feel pretty comfortable nibbling on some longs because the risk is pretty easy. I mean, no matter what your tolerance is and how you slice TA, I mean, everyone can see this trend line. You know, everybody can see that this is, let's go to the weekly. You know, that this is kind of chopping all the business. We're all watching the same movie. So, yeah, if we can kind of just hover around here. I forgot what I was going to say with that dirt moment. I got to get off here. I got to stop the show here. I'm losing it, man. I'm losing it, man. Ethereum, same thing, kind of same pattern. Really needs to hold 39.50. We wick below 39.50. We're probably coming into the box here, which it kind of does look like it wants to do. I'm going to be real patient. And maybe that would be a great long zone for myself in this red box against this trend line here. So far, though, pretty sloppy. Rejection from bulls attempting to break out and make higher highs, and it is getting rejection so far. So let's see what the bulls do into the wee hours of the morning. We might get a little bit of a clue there before. Also, don't forget it's Thanksgiving weekend, and so markets probably are going to go a little bit sideways and be a little quieter. That's traditionally what happens. There have been crazy Thanksgiving weeks for sure in all sectors, so maybe you never know, right? Just kind of just prepare, don't predict. Just want to flan through these real quick. Ugh, brutal. Well, BidF is kind of flagging out at least. That one actually looks still okay. Mara, yeah, none of these really look that great. Yeah, nothing. GBDC, oof, man. GBDC is making Bitcoin look like that was a fake out. Ugh. Well, let's see what this week brings. Let's not try to get too biased in one way and just trade the charts. Don't trade your opinion. Keeps you out of trouble doing that. Right now, for me, the chart is telling me stay above 55 or look out for some more downside. Stay above 39.50 or look out for some more downside. And then upside is right above its 60K. Then maybe we get 62. But ultimately, Bitcoin really needs to get back above 65 to look sexy again. And 44 is about that number on Ethereum. Much love. I'll see y'all guys later. Peace.